According to the latest federal numbers, natural disasters cost the U.S. $145 billion last year. As homeowners are left to pick up the pieces, experts say scammers are poised to swoop in. In this Watching Your Wallet, consumer investigator Carice Jackman breaks down the warning signs you need to know.
Hurricanes, flooding, tornadoes, wildfires. Natural disasters can strike at any moment. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association, or NOAA, the cost of natural disasters between 2017 and 2021 totaled $765 billion. And when those disasters hit, consumer experts say you need to be on high alert as scammers look to take advantage of those in need.
Are you noticing a trend right now?
And we've seen an uptick, especially with all these crazy weather patterns that are out there lately.
Zulfikar Ramzan is chief scientist at Aura, a company that provides consumers with intelligent security in the digital world. He says scammers' top priority is your critical info.
The goal for them is to get you to part with personal information. In some cases, they may even offer services for a fee.
Ramzan says scammers will pose as FEMA agents, offering disaster recovery loans.
And of course, what ends up happening is that people give their information away. They provide this extra financial incentive to the scammers, and the scammers are off to the races.
FEMA says their inspectors will never ask for your social security number, never call you for financial information, and never charge a fee to inspect your property. They also say their representatives will always carry ID badges, and there's never a fee required to apply for or to receive federal disaster assistance. But it's not just scams at the federal level. Following the recent devastating Kentucky floods, the Better Business Bureau issued a warning about con artists sending texts about replacement driver's licenses to residents who lost all of their important documents. Consumers also submitted reports about look-alike websites offering help with everything from updating postal addresses to reviewing or replacing documents for an upfront fee.
Unfortunately, we see a lot of the time following natural disasters or storms that these look-alike sites pop up, and they're just ploys to gain, basically every piece of digital information that they can on someone.
Experts say scammers will follow from disaster to disaster, looking for new targets. Their advice: document everything and be prepared. With this Watching Your Wallet, I'm Carice Jackman.
And another popular post-disaster scam involves charity relief to victims. Experts say make sure you do your research about the company or organization before making a donation. Straight ahead, details on controversial new guidance on the treatment of head lice.